community. Thank you all for having me. Appreciate it.
Give it up for Jeff Deal. He almost beat Elizabeth Warren, you know. Now, Jeff, I heard a rumor. I was listening to RKO. I drive a friend of mine to dialysis on Wednesdays. That's when he's on RKO. It's the only time I listen to the radio. And VB asked him if he was going to run against Ed Markey, and he didn't say no. So we want to encourage you to run. Please, please run against Ed Markey. Please, we beg you to please do that. So we're actually going to give 2 Goodwill Ambassador Awards. We figured if we're going to bring it back, we should do something nice. And the Goodwill Ambassador Awards for people who do things in the community and don't want to be thanked. And those are the people we want to thank. It's the people who do stuff and say, please don't mention me, I don't want recognition, that we want to embarrass and give recognition to, because they're the ones that actually deserve it, not the people who do it for the recognition. There's a bunch of kids, if I could have your attention, because this is pretty compelling stuff. There's a bunch of kids in Lawrence, and one or 2 kids in North Andover, who got together about a year ago and decided that with the opioid crisis and the homeless crisis in Lawrence, they wanted to do something. They saw our politicians doing nothing. They saw those elected in government doing nothing. And so they got together. They're a group called the Movement Family. Can I have Mike Gorman and Jashawn and Sam Salib and all you guys from the Movement Family come up? Now let me tell you what these guys do really, really quick. We've got a couple more awards to give out. Those of you who follow me live on Facebook know that we were feeding the homeless. I shouldn't say we. There was a group of kids feeding the homeless at the Buckley Garage in Lawrence. They decided on their own to partner up with Tewksbury Detox, to partner up with local restaurants, to partner up with local volunteers, to go out and try and not only feed the homeless in Lawrence, but they brought Tewksbury Detox down and got 22 people off of the streets into detox and got them clean and got them transitional housing. They're called the Movement Family. It's run by my good friend Mike Gorman, who's now my good friend, right? We just met like about a year ago. And I said, if we're going to bring back this Goodwill Ambassador Award for people who do good things in the community, we really need to give an award to these kids who didn't want to be thanked, didn't do it for publicity, didn't post things on Facebook. They just went out and fed homeless people, partnered with Tewksbury Detox, partnered with other organizations, and went out one-on-one and spoke to people who live on the street, who are addicted to heroin, and got them off the street into housing so that our police department doesn't have to arrest them every day for causing problems. So our second Goodwill Ambassador Award goes to Mike Gorman and all of the people at TMF. And I got tears in my eyes for what you guys have done, because you guys are the ones that make differences in the community. TMF, 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 TMF. They're all crying, that's what I love. Kiana, you're up. How about Kiana? Does she look great or what? You know the requirements to be part of the Rally Patriot Bash, right? I shouldn't have to spell that out for you.
Is Diana DiZoglio here?
She's here!
Diana! All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking for myself personally, but I'm speaking for all of you too. You know that you love her? If we are lucky, she and Phil might just sing Mamma Mia later on. Your state senator and Tom's favorite Democrat, Diana DiZoglio.
such a highly produced event. It's so exciting to be here tonight. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Gonna wake you guys up. It's a very exciting time. We are here celebrating tonight. This is one of my favorite places to be, one of my favorite events annually to be at. And I have the distinct honor and privilege of introducing once again Tom Duggan and the Valley Patriot for the great work they do in the community. I met Tom several years ago, met the Valley Patriot team several years ago, and met them because my Uncle Joe, actually, he's a veteran. And he's a World War II veteran. And he also was the first police officer with a canine in the city of Lawrence. And he knew Tom's father and Tom's family. So we had an introduction based on family ties, based on military service in our family's history, based on public service through public safety officers, and got to know each other in that way. And the reason why I've gotten to know the Valley Patriot team so much is because of their continued work in trying to serve a host of different, community endeavors that are happening, but especially our veteran population and our public safety officers, our police, and our firefighters. So through the years, I've gotten to see the work that Tom and his team have done, and I commend them for that. I'm especially proud of the Heroes in Our Midst book, which highlights the work of different veterans in our community, their life stories, their failures, their successes, what we can learn from them. We all know that if we don't pay attention to history, that history repeats itself. So the wisdom that was found in the pages of those books is incredible, and I commend Tom and his team for writing that book to give us something to look into the history of our local heroes. It's really a tremendous book. If you haven't read it, I encourage you to get a copy. Introducing Tom tonight is a particular honor for me just because of that relationship between him, his father, and honestly, Uncle Joe. I've learned so much. I've learned so much about the veteran community through him and through his team. I've learned so much about the importance of making sure that we provide adequate tools and resources for our police officers, that we provide adequate funding for our firefighters and their families, and that we support their families during times of struggle. I don't know any other field where you leave your house in the morning and you don't know for sure that you're going to come back in the afternoon because of something routine that you're doing. Our public safety officials are going out there every day. They're doing routine traffic stops, not knowing if somebody's going to roll down the window and have a weapon. Our firefighters are running into burning buildings when the rest of us are running out. We think about the Columbia gas crisis, and I know sometimes we get a little tired of hearing about it because it's all we've been talking about. But how can we talk about anything else? Our public safety officials and our first responders, the people on site taking care of us when the rest of us were scared and didn't know what to do. Even your community leaders, your politicians, the people that are in charge, when we're all looking at each other saying, what do? We need help figuring this out. Our first responders, our police officers, our firefighters are there. And our veterans are there to assist, to give advice. So, I guess I'm here tonight to say thank you to Tom, and thank you to the Valley Patriot for highlighting all of the work that our public safety officers and our veteran population has contributed to this community, but also just to personally, from myself, say I'm forever grateful to you for the work that you do. I'm grateful to your families for the sacrifices they make every day in allowing you to leave your homes to come out and to protect us and to contribute the way that you do. And on behalf of the State Senate, I just say thank you for your service. Congratulations. Whatever you need, we are available to you. Call us anytime. We're at your service. Thank you so much. And with that, Tom Duggan.
Pets only? This one. Wow. We filled the room again. How did that happen? You don't have to clap for that. I'm just amazed by it. Because a year ago we were in the room and we had just been hit with that lawsuit by that guy in Methuen, and the Tribune made sure that they put a headline in the paper the Wednesday before my bash to try and kill the attendance of my bash. And when we walked out of the room, I said, you know what, I think that was the last bash. I don't know that we're going to be able to do another bash after this. And here we are at the 15th anniversary, and you guys all came. Thank you so much for that. Now, before I go on, I heard that a body washed up up off Water Street in the Merrimack River earlier today. Somebody apparently had fallen into the river in Lowell, and obviously drifted down the Merrimack and washed up on the shore over off of Water Street. And once again, Dan Rivera was very, very upset that somebody from outside the city was coming into Lawrence to make us look bad. All right, some of you laughed at that, so it wasn't a complete waste. Yeah, Dan Rivera couldn't be here tonight. He used to be a staple at this bash. He kind of got his panties in a bunch a couple of years ago when somebody came up to the microphone and said something negative about Lawrence. He got all upset, and I think he went home and cried himself to sleep, and we haven't seen him since. He's very, very unhappy about the fact that I've been out there with TMF trying to help people feed the homeless. He seems to think that if nobody sees us feeding the homeless, people won't think there are any homeless, and then everybody will think Lawrence is the greatest place that's ever been invented on the face of the earth.